There is another, in my opinion, wrongful assessment of one of the variations of Bogo Indian. D4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3. Well, as we know, most of the time, actually, maybe equally, white plays knight f3 equally with knight c3, allowing Nc3 Indian. But I think it's slight priority they give to move knight f3, bishop b4 check, bishop d2, queen e7, and now we know that there is a main move g3, knight c6, and here white has two moves, bishop g2 and knight c3. The move we want to look at is knight c3, bishop takes c3, bishop takes c3, and knight e4. Well, I covered this variation previously, and now let me give you a new view on this, and new and more interesting way of playing this variation. There are two moves for white, queen c2 and rook c1. Black's goal to eliminate white's dark squared bishop. So on queen c2, we can play even knight takes c3, queen takes c3, queen b4. If you want to simplify and go to equal position endgame, or castle followed by d6, e5, you are okay here. Also, but main move, of course, is rook c1. We play knight takes c3, rook takes c3, and we go d6. So here, white wants to play e5. Well, bishop g2 or d5 right away, which is actually just a transposition. It's the same. Well, or black could have done castle on move before. As I mentioned, it's the same. d6, bishop g2, or d5, knight b8, d takes e, f takes e, bishop g2, and black castles. Well, this is the critical position. Now, it looks like white is ahead in development, but it isn't. Why? They aren't. Because black is going to develop real quick, and notice there are only two minor pieces on the board, and knight on f3 is not placed very well, and that's what black wants to do. That's the ideal setup for black. White can interfere with it. They can try. Knight d4. And now we got to be careful. We're not going to go knight d7, of course, because knight takes e6 wins for white. On queen takes e6, bishop d5. So we have to play c6 first, and then white plays castling. And now we go knight d7, preparing to put knight on f6. And when white plays e4, we simply go knight f6. And black is doing fine, and here is why. If white tries to get initiative with e5 move, then we simply take on e5, and knight f3 we go e4. And on knight g5 we go e5. And when white plays knight takes e4, bishop f5. Black has good position here. On move like queen d6, black can simply play queen f7, and you see that white cannot take pawn on e5, because if they do, they're going to lose a piece right away. Bishop takes e4, bishop takes e4, and rook fe8 or rook ae8, winning a bishop. And if white cannot win this pawn, then white simply has nothing in this position. Position is very playable. It was known as a better for white. It isn't. So, well, this is the position. So white is not going to play e5. They're going to play probably knight c2. Then black is going to play e5, and now they want to put bishop on e6, and they will have no problem. And that's what happened in one of the games. Knight c2, bishop to e6, knight e3, and the position is totally equal. Karpov played this position for white in one of the games with the pawn on e2, and even he couldn't get any advantage. This position is totally equal. Rook a to d8, and black has no weaknesses. White does not have constructive plan. Position is totally equal. Now let's see for a second what happens if white plays this position without pushing e4, without blocking their bishop on g2. In this position, we just went c6, white castled, and we went knight d7. Okay, here in one of the games, Karpov played knight c2, black played knight f6, b4, e5, b5. That's the game I just mentioned was played by Anatoly Karpov with white. But after c takes b, and bishop e6, black is perfectly okay. Well, they want to go d5. They have rook d8. Pawn on a2 is hanging. What does white have that black doesn't? White has absolutely no advantage. Actually, I do prefer this position to play for black. So this is an interesting view, new view on the knight c3 move on a sixth move, knight c3 in Bogo Indian for white.